what's up everybody? I'm gonna do a classic rock reaction. This is Led Zeppelin. They're covering Ramble On. Ramble On is from Led Zeppelin 2, and it's a song that I've been really looking forward to, man. I've been hearing a lot about it. You guys have told me quite a lot about it in the comment section. So I'm already going into it knowing that it was covered by, performed by Kid Rock at their Kennedy Center honors. So it's quite a big and beloved song by Led Zeppelin fans. So let's check this out, man. Ramble On. Ramble on. Let's get it.
Leaves are falling all around. Time I was on my way. Thanks to you, I'm much obliged for such a pleasant stay. But now it's time for me to go. The autumn moonlights my way. But now I smell the rain, and with it pain, and it's heading my way. Sometimes I go so tired, but I know about one thing I got to do. I ramble on, and now the time is now. Sing my song. I'm going round the world, I gotta find my girl on my way. Been this way 10 years till the day. Ramble on, I'm the queen of all my dreams. Got no time for spreading room. The time has come to be gone. And though our health we drank 1,000 times, it's time to ramble on.
I think he's singing about his life in the world as a musician. Constantly moving, constantly traveling. Baseline when the thunder comes in.
I gotta find the queen of all my dreams. I tell you no lie. Mine's a tale that can't be told. My freedom I hold dear. How years ago, in days of old, when magic filled the air. Just in the darkest depths of Mordor, I met a girl so fair. But Gollum, the evil one, crept up and slipped away with her, yeah. Ain't nothing I can do now. I guess I'll keep on rambling. I'm gonna see myself. I gotta find my baby.
This is the Lord of the Rings song.
Keep searching for my baby.
hear that bass line? Some of that bass. Man. Ramble on. That was fantastic, man. I know what you were saying now. So many of you, excuse my damn throat, it keeps making these little sounds. So many of you have told me about this song. You've warned me and you said that this song is just gonna slay you because of the bass and the thunder. And I know exactly what you mean now. And as well, I remember now that this was also the song that referenced Lord of the Rings. And of course, I didn't figure that out until we got like into the latter part, like in the third body, the third verses. But yo, man, this song, man, has everything that you could want out of a rock and roll song. It tells a story. It has fantastic riffs, guitar riffs, bassline groove, the thunderous drums coming in and out. And of course, his vocals are just incredible. Yo. I'm at a loss. There's so many thoughts going through my head. Okay, the first big thought is, I've heard this song, and I know when and where. I was in the Navy, and we were in Hawaii doing a RIMPAC exercise, and we were carrier escort for the Carl Vinson. Anyway, man, I now believe that I was introduced to probably most of Led Zeppelin 2 because of that that expedition, that voyage that we were on, that NATO exercise that we were on. Someone on our ship had this album or songs from it, because from that voyage I was introduced to Whole Lotta Love. I was introduced to Heartbreaker, and this song. I'm sure there's more because I haven't gotten to the rest of the album yet, but I know specifically that's where I first heard these Led Zeppelin songs from, including this one. And the thing is that I was always like on the go in passing. I was never really able to like sit down and listen to it from start to finish. But what I do remember is I remember the Ramble On, Sing My Song, and I remember the bass groove. And I also remember them going from, and this is what I noted in my mind, even back then, I wasn't in any least really interested in rock and roll at the time, but I do remember hearing and liking how they were going from soft, and then the thunder came in. From soft to then thunder, soft to thunder. That's the one thing that stuck out in my mind about this song. Of course, I had no idea about the comprehension of the meaning of the song or anything like that. But now that I'm sitting and taking it all in, I totally get it. At first I thought that it was about, maybe their life as musicians on the road, they got to keep moving and they're always rambling on. But now that I take in the words, and now that the Lord of the Rings reference comes in, it seems to me that he's singing from the point of view of King Aragorn. Aragon had to keep rambling on, and he had to go go on a quest, on a crusade for freedom. He was separated from his, I think she was the elf princess. In the movie, it's Liv Tyler's character. They were separated, and so, he had to go on this quest and then find his way back to her. It mentions the darkest depths of Mordor, Gollum, and the evil one. Yo, man, really excellent references in this song. And like I said, this song has everything. Tells a story, has great musicianship, great vocals, great lyrics. Yeah, it's not missing a thing, man. And again, I think the two big things about this song to me, where it comes to musicianship, is far and away the bass guitar. It basically just carries this song, man. Oh man, John Paul Jones, you are a master musician. And also, yeah, going from light to thunder, they have that light approach. Then all the thunder comes in, they all meet in the middle, and it's a big thunderous drop, and then they kind of go light again, go off and do their own thing, and then they come back together and then do another thunderous drop. Those two things about this song makes this song for me above everything else. And then of course you add Plant's great vocals, you add those excellent guitar acoustics and everything that Jimmy Page is doing, and the story and the vocals. Yo, man, yeah, I can see why this song is a number of your favorites. A lot of you had written, knowing that this was my next reaction, saying, yo, man, you're approaching my favorite song, and this is why it's my favorite. So I got a lot of comments about that. But weeks later, of course, this is like weeks after. Now it's coming back to me about all of the comments made and stuff like that, and the Lord of the Ring reference. So you guys gave me a heads up that this song has to do with Lord of the Rings. Anyway, man, I am tripping, so I'm gonna just contain myself and get into my form here and not just go off. Sorry, my last 15 minutes has just been going off. So let me stick to my structure. Super quick read on the band and then the song. So Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin were an English rock band formed in London in 1968. The group consisted of guitarist Jimmy Page, singer Robert Plant, bassist and keyboardist John Paul Jones, and drummer John Bonham. The band's heavy-driven guitar sound has led them to be cited as one of the progenitors of heavy metal. Their style drew from a wide variety of influences, including blues, psychedelia, and folk music. After changing their name from the New Yardbirds, Led Zeppelin signed a deal with Atlantic Records that afforded them considerable artistic freedom. Although the group were initially unpopular with critics, they achieved significant commercial success. Led Zeppelin are widely considered one of the most successful, innovative, and influential rock groups in history. They are one of the best-selling music artists in the history of audio recording. Various sources estimate the group's record sales at 200 to 300 million units worldwide. With RIAA certified sales of 111.5 million units, they are the third best-selling band in the US. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1995. The museum's biography of the band states that they were as influential during the 1970s as the Beatles were during the 1960s. That's astounding, that last part there about being as influential in the 70s as the Beatles were in the 60s. Just that alone is a masterful accomplishment. Everything else is great, but just that, in their bio, tells you everything you need to know about these guys, man. All right, formation of the song. Ramble On is a song by English rock group Led Zeppelin from their 1969 album Led Zeppelin II. It was co-written by Jimmy Page and Robert Plant and was recorded in 1969 at Juggy Sound Studio, New York City, during the band's second concert tour of North America. In 2010, the song was ranked number 440 on a list of Rolling Stone's 500 greatest songs of all time. The song's lyrics were influenced by The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. The references are to the adventures of the hobbits, Frodo Baggins and his friends, as he goes to the darkest depths of Mordor and encounters Gollum and the Evil One. So, it sounds to me, I gotta read the lyrics. It sounds to me that it's more from the point of view of Aragorn rather than Frodo. But no, Frodo had to keep moving and keep rambling on, so okay, maybe. This is one of Led Zeppelin's most enduring songs, but they never performed it live from start to finish while the band was active. It was at their set when Zeppelin reunited for a one-off concert at the O2 Arena in London on December 10th, 2007. John Bonham's son, Jason, filled in on drums at that show. Yeah, it's going to take me a while to get to that performance. Page explained that he achieved a smooth, sustaining violin-like tone on the solo by using the neck pickup on his Les Paul with the treble cut and utilizing a sustain producing effects unit. Okay, that's definitely for all of you musician types who will understand that. Michael Madden of Consequence of Sound praised Ramble On, believing the track sounds mellow and well balanced. Madden further stated the track gets a boost from John Paul Jones's Garter Snake bass playing. Yo man, yeah, that bass guitar in this song is everything, you know. The concept of the troubadour rambling on, going from place to place and constantly moving forward is one Robert Plant embraces. In his post-Zeppelin career, he went from one project to the next, refusing to fall back on nostalgia. It was Plant who kiboshed the proposed Led Zeppelin reunion tour in 2007. Okay, that's interesting, yeah. But I guess, going back on tour as Led Zeppelin and kind of doing all of that all over again at their age might be an area of concern. I'm sure that Plant had a bunch of other reasons as well, some that are known publicly, but some that aren't known publicly. I mean, let's face it, at their age, they are not as youthful, they don't have as much energy output, and especially with Plant, his voice is definitely not the same as when he first sang Ramble On. And so to do that on a daily grind for, I don't know how long their tour would be, day in, day out, plucking himself up and just going on the road. And, it's a young man's game, man. So I imagine he had those concerns. If I was Robert Plant, I would probably first think that, my voice is not the same. And how can I sustain it over, a 6-month tour? And the deliverance of quality will be compromised. So maybe it's best that I don't. That's reason maybe number one. There's probably a whole bunch of other reasons there as well, And another thing that I thought about was the musicianship, the tight grouping of playing. Even though it is Jason, John Bonham's son, he is a different person. He's not John Bonham. So that kind of synergy, I remember John Paul Jones saying that, when we started playing together and then we got into a groove and then we realized that this is the sound that the four of us produced, we looked around at each other and we marveled at the sound that the four of us could produce. So that's the key phrase, the four of them. And so I don't think that anybody Jason Bonham, I can see that he's a great drummer. I saw the performance at the Kennedy Honors of Stairway to Heaven with Heart, but he's not John Bonham. And I think maybe being that Plant and Bonham were so close, they were in the Band of Joy together, they knew each other since they were little kids, maybe it would just be too much for Plant over a sustained period of time to be without John Bonham. I mean, that's just in your face. John's memory, his essence, the good and the bad, is with him constantly. So over a 6-month tour, having your best friend not being there, and having all of these constant reminders, maybe it's just too much for him to do. Maybe it's asking too much of the man, to just regurgitate all of that bad stuff associated with his friend. Great memories associated with his friend, but lots of painful ones too. I mean, if you force me to talk about my time in the military, there's some things I can talk about, and some things still to this day, to my dying day, that I just won't be able to talk about. So, Robert Plant, I believe that he is just forced with the reality that he probably wouldn't be able to finish a tour because his friend John is not there. I think ultimately in the end, that is it. But you guys know Led Zeppelin better than I do. It's just my thoughts. What am I missing? Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with my throat today. What am I missing, man? There's got to be more to it. But those are my thoughts, just kind of like as an outsider, now starting to look into it. And man, I just went off again. Okay, let's get back on point, man. I just made a couple of notes here. I'm just going to scroll down. So I just want to say, yes, that's what it was, to make sure that I speak about Kid Rock, because I know a lot of you mentioned to me in the comments that I have to check out Kid Rock's performance if I'm going to do a Ramble On. I have to also check out the Kid Rock performance from the Kennedy Center Honors. Yeah, I'm sure that he did a great job.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kid Rock.
Leaves are falling all around. It's time I was on my way. Thanks to you, I'm much obliged for such a pleasant stay. But now it's time for me to go. The autumn moon lights my way. But you know I've got one thing I got to do.
here's another thing too, because their sound is so unique and the synergy between those four guys is just so on point. I just don't see too many people being able to do a really good rendition of Led Zeppelin songs. I'm sure there are exceptions to the rule. Immediately I'm thinking of Heart and Stairway to Heaven, but how many other people can really do Led Zeppelin justice? Lenny Kravitz, he also did a great version of A Whole Lot of Love. That was excellent, but it still wasn't Zeppelin in a sense. Yeah, there will only be one Led Zeppelin. But my point is, maybe there are just some songs that are not meant to be covered after the original. I certainly would not want to even attempt at covering a Led Zeppelin song unless I know for a fact that my version is twice as good as this one. And it isn't just my opinion, it's the opinion of, I would take some sort of a Gallup poll or something, you know what I'm saying? So that is where I put these guys, that they are unmatched and untouched because their sound and their signature is just so unique. But having said that, I haven't watched Kid Rock's performance. He might just blow the whole thing out, and he might be just as good, if not better. So I'm going to keep an open mind. But yeah, that was my note here to make sure that I mention, and I acknowledge the fact that I will check out Kid Rock's performance. So thank you for that. That's basically my note here. Song is fantastic. I love the bass. I love the thunder that comes in. They're going from soft and then thunderous. Great song, and I totally understand why this song is so good to so many of you, and why it's your personal favorite among Led Zeppelin songs. I totally understand, man. So yeah, anyway, man, I'll look into doing maybe a live. I don't believe that there is a live version. I think it was just the O2 version. So eventually I'll get to that, and I'll definitely check out their live version of it. Where it comes to Led Zeppelin 2, I believe it's the drum solo that's next, but I'll have to double check that. Anyways, man, that's my reaction to Ramble On. Fantastic song. Takes me right back exactly to my Navy days, and I know exactly what I was doing, where I was when I first heard it, all of that. So far, the songs on Led Zeppelin 2 are all associated to when I was back in the Navy, on that RIMPAC exercise in Hawaii. That's when I first got introduced to Led Zeppelin 2. Anyways, man, this was excellent. Great walk back down memory lane. I learned something about this song and the Lord of the Rings reference, which was excellent. And it's definitely going on my playlist, man. 5 out of 5 here. All right. Thanks very much for joining me, man. Have a good day, and I'll catch you in my next Led Zeppelin reaction. Peace.